Good afternoon, everybody. It is the 22nd of July, Tuesday. It is 2:45 p.m., and this is your radar update. Taking a look at our radar right now, we have one severe thunderstorm warning well to the north. It covers Aitken and Emily and the eastern end of the Cayena Range, Iron Range, that is. And that is to the north of Pine Island, Farm Island, rather. Aitken is included in that, and that is currently for 60-mile-an-hour winds. So 70-mile-an-hour winds now, 1-inch hail, and a tornado possible tag on that one. So that one had peaked at about 1.5-inch hail, has dropped down to about 1-inch hail, and now it's back up to about 1.25 inches with a tornado possible tag, which is also a new update. Taking a look at the rest of the radar here, looking at Aberdeen specifically right now, you see a little bit of a fine line between Miller up to Redfield, going up towards Webster, and then a little sliver of one here just to the east of Sisseton and Agency, or west rather, of Sisseton and Agency Village. These are mesoscale boundaries left over from thunderstorms that happened last night. And along with this line from Detroit Lakes up to northwest of Fergus Falls, back down to Wahpeton, this would be our area for development if we're going to get anything severe towards the evening and overnight. There are some cells starting to develop or trying to develop out here in western Minnesota. Unfortunately, those cumulus clouds are just bubbling. They're not actually towering or doing any serious intensification, so I'm not too worried about those right now. I am keeping an eye on them. We will go live if we have to later this afternoon. Taking a look now at the big story right now, it's our heat warning. It's a heat advisory that runs until 8 p.m. that covers the entire metro, all the way back west into not Traverse and Big Stone, but Lackawanna and Chippewa counties, all the way down to almost Albert Lee and almost Fairmont, and all the way over to Washington County, Dakota County, and missing Goodhue. Temperatures are up around 90 degrees. Heat indexes are pushing into the mid-90s to the upper 90s. And so you want to be careful out there. Taking a look at our severe weather outlook, pretty much from Grantsburg back down to about Watertown, South Dakota. North of that line, including the Twin Ports, almost up to International Falls and the Canadian border, up to Grand Forks, and then back across southeastern North Dakota and the northern half of South Dakota. And the slight risk of severe thunderstorms for today. A marginal risk covers the rest of Minnesota, most of Wisconsin, and most of Iowa. And the reason for that being that there is actually a 2% chance of tornadoes today throughout most of that same area, and then along that slight risk area as well. Taking a look at our wind, that's all farther south. And that's the wrong graphic. So let's go to the winds. There's the wind I was looking for. And so I don't have the hail. I apologize. Hail was not a big concern for today, really. Taking a look at our day 2 outlook, slight risk covers now the entire heart of the Twin Cities. That runs across the northern half of Wisconsin, back down through the southern half of Minnesota into southeastern South Dakota and northwestern Iowa. In terms of southeast Minnesota, that covers everything except for basically Houston and Mower counties. So if you're down in Caledonia or back down towards Austin, you're not going to be in that slight risk. You're in a marginal risk, but everybody else will be in the slight risk. And then for day 3, looking at it Thursday, just a tiny sliver, that same area that wasn't covered in the slight risk is just in a marginal risk for Thursday, day 3. And that is basically Houston County, Minnesota, and then the southern half of Wisconsin, southeastern half, I should say, and then the eastern third of Iowa. Taking a look at our excessive rainfall outlook for today, northern half of Minnesota is in a slight risk. Right south of that, right along, I would say the Highway 12 corridor into the Twin Cities, and then down along 169 and Highway Minnesota 15 and east, at a marginal risk. The rest of Wisconsin, except for the Milwaukee urban area, basically Milwaukee, Madison, up to Sheboygan and Green Bay, not in a marginal risk. The rest of the state in a marginal risk, except for northwestern Wisconsin, which is in a slight risk. And that would cover your areas from Ashland back down towards Hayward and then over to Duluth and Superior. Our day 2 excessive rain outlook, a lot of the same areas in Wisconsin. It just expands. So from the North Shore to Duluth, going all the way back out to the Pipestone area, down to Sioux Falls, right along I-90, and then cutting across and over Wisconsin up to Green Bay, and then most of the Upper Peninsula all in the slight risk of excessive rain for tomorrow, Wednesday. And then Thursday, southeastern corner of Minnesota, from Albert Lee up to about Wabasha, and then south and east. That is, or Winona, I should say, Winona. South and east, that is a slight, or a marginal risk rather. Most of Wisconsin from The Rhinelander area back down towards La Crosse, south and east, that is a marginal risk as well. And then most of Iowa is also on a marginal risk, except for the northwestern quarter. And that brings us to our forecast for today. A 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms here later this afternoon and this evening. South winds at 10, bringing in that warm, moist air. High today around 91. Low tonight only 68. Tomorrow should be fairly stormy throughout the day. 70% chance of storms. The southwest wind at 10 continues. High of only 89. That could go higher. Depends on how many storms we get. If we get fewer storms and more sun, that high will be higher. If it's not, it'll be about where it's at there. 70 degrees for the overnight low Thursday. 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning, then clearing. 91 for your high. 62 for the low. Friday, right back into the warmth. 86, then mostly sunny, the low of 68 overnight. And that's the pattern through the weekend. Temperatures just keep climbing. 89 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday with lows in the low to mid 70s. Very slight chance late in the night on Sunday night, but mostly on Monday morning of some showers and thunderstorms. A high of 90 and a low of 72. That is your severe weather outlook and your forecast here on Black Sheep Weather. Again, if we will go live if necessary at this time, I had said 30% earlier today. I'm going to say 20% now. I don't think we're going to see any substantial development here south of about the Highway 210 corridor. I think it's all going to stay in northern Minnesota. I would love to be proven wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. That is your weather, as I said. I am meteorologist John Lamb, and this is Black Sheep Weather signing off.